Welcome back to New Day Northwest. Seattle's Department of Transportation has a brand new person in charge. And since this department pretty much impacts the life of every single person living in Seattle, we thought, hey, we'd like to get to know him. So we've asked SDOT Director Greg Spots to join us on the couch this morning. Thanks for being here.
Great to be here.
I got to ask you first and foremost, how did you get here this morning?
I took the bus. I took two buses, the 70 to the 21.
Nice.
Got here with plenty of time.
Okay, that's fantastic. So you're getting the local transportation. First of all, tell us how you got to SDOT and where you were before.
So I was working in Los Angeles for the Bureau of Street Services. I was the #2 at that agency, and there was a national search to find a new SDOT director. I think there were 87 applicants, and 4 of us got to meet the mayor, and the mayor and I really hit it off, and he offered me the job.
Well, if you can handle transportation in Los Angeles, then you can probably handle it just about anywhere. What's it been like getting to know the needs of the city, a city that you're not from?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was really important to be a boots-on-the-ground director and learn all the neighborhoods and meet folks in the community. So in August, before I got here, I launched a website where people can sign up to take me to walk, bike, or ride transit in their neighborhood. And we already have 120 people who've applied.
Oh, wow.
And I've done 35 of these listening tour stops in about 36 days of living here. So I've been to many, many neighborhoods, doing about 11 to 13,000 steps a day. And it's been really great started trying to build my mental map of Seattle.
I think that is a fantastic way, an effective way to get to know our city. And you chose not to drive for a week, I understand, to see what it was like for those who can't. What did you experience about Seattle transportation?
So, you know, I actually have left my car in LA for now, so I haven't had a chance to drive a car since I got here, but I participated in the Week Without Driving, which is meant to raise awareness of folks who can't drive for various reasons. And, you know, I met one of the organizers who is visually impaired. And she showed me how, you know, she has to get her son everywhere on a cargo bike. And, you know, a lot of the activities that moms have to bring their kids to are kind of oriented around driving.
Yeah.
It was powerful to think all week in making my mobility choices about what it would be like if I didn't have the choice to drive, and maybe I had 1 or more dependents. You know, a parent who needs to go to a medical office, kids who need to go to baseball.
Yeah.
It was very powerful to be thinking about that all week.
I think that as a mom, it means a lot because it is really hard as trying to plan, first of all, just getting the kids out of the house and then what routes to take is so important. I also like that you really use social media. You're very passionate about that for communication with people. Is it important to you to hear from the people in your city?
It's very important to find ways to meet folks, even folks who may not know how to reach us. So social media is just one of many ways that I'm communicating, and I don't think that's everybody, but I'm getting a lot of comments, ideas, advice, criticism that way. And it's just been quite interesting, but I'm also making sure to get out into the community and meet people where they are as well.
Are you surprised to see how engaged Seattle is compared to Los Angeles when it comes to these type of communications?
Very, yeah. I was waiting on foot for the swing bridge, the Spokane Street Bridge, and a whole bunch of cyclists piled up behind us. And after the bridge opened back up, somebody said to me, "I'll bet some of those people ID'd you." And I was like, "No way, nobody knows who the SDOT director is, you know?" And then the guy tweeted at me the next day.
See?
And now in the public parks, people know who I am too.
That's awesome. I think that's fantastic. So what are some initial priorities, I could say, with everything that you've heard when it comes to changing or improving transportation in Seattle?
#1 priority is safety, especially safety for vulnerable users, people on foot and on bike.
Yeah.
On my very first day of work, I initiated a top-to-bottom review of our Vision Zero safety program because the numbers are going in the wrong direction. More people are being killed and seriously injured on Seattle streets now than before the pandemic, and we have to figure out how we can turn that around.
That's important. That is very important. What do you see the future of transportation in our region looking like?
Well, obviously, we need to reduce carbon emissions, so there's going to be more electric vehicles, hopefully more use of walking, biking, and public transit. It's going to be transformed in a way by where remote work is going. You know, we're seeing a lot less people in the office buildings in downtown. We don't know if that's going to be a long-term trend, but it could be that people move around lots of different places and lots of times of day, instead of just this morning peak bringing everybody in and the afternoon peak sending everybody back out. So it could be actually a more multi-layered set of problems to solve.
Yeah, I can imagine. I will have to say is you'll start to notice it's going to get darker here real quick, real fast. It's always kind of nerve-wracking when you're out there trying to catch a bus or moving around earlier in the morning. What are your kind of solutions for that, you know, keeping in mind just telling people to be wary of pedestrians and the like?
Yeah, I mean, a challenge that's been going on nationally is during the pandemic, there's fewer vehicles out, therefore higher vehicle speeds, therefore higher speed collisions. And so we really do need to work on both physical changes to the street, better enforcement for speeding, and you know, and I would ask everybody to please be aware that there's vulnerable users out there when you're in a hurry. Yeah,
keep an eye out for people. Well, thank you so very much for taking the time. You're gonna like our 405 much better than the 405 in LA. Thank you so much for your time. Hopefully we'll see you again soon.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Awesome.